Hello and welcome to what I would call part 6 of the video series for the Jubilee layout. On this episode we're going to recap how we built this layout, and then we're going to go to the show and you're going to see what the other guys were doing in the club. The beauty of what we were doing is it's just a club day. It's not where we get lots of layouts from all over the country there. We're just showing what's in the club, and for that I decided to make myself a layout and have some fun making something small to build up on a baseboard and just demonstrate to you during that process as well of what I needed to do. And during that process I learned how to use Anywhere, as you've seen. I used different types of point motors. I then had some very tight radiuses laid onto the track, and I learnt a number of new things whilst doing it and practiced some things that I already knew. By watching this recap, you'll be able to see what I got up to. If you want to know about more things in detail, check out parts 1 to 5 where we see the layout go together to the point that we have scenics on the layout. Admittedly, the layout isn't completely finished and there are things that I would like to do on it still. But that'll be for another day. As I'm human, we do projects and we find that we get a bit burnt out with them and we want to move on to something else and enjoy that project. For me, that happened and I felt like I've done the exhibition, I don't need to do anything more on this. And actually one of the reasons I wanted to build this layout was to have some fun, not having to go up into the loft when it's hot, and I can work on the railway, or I can just have some fun. I can run my little locos round. I call them little because they are small 040s that I have. For example, I have the Peckets or my homemade pannier, which is an 040, and other locos that are kind of hanging around. I picked up a small Andrew Barclay one, which is quite nice, and I have some endeavours to do some more of my 040 panniers. Watching this video, you might be wondering what some of these bits are. Like I said, they will be in parts 1 to 5. You can see everything about it. I've added the clips in so you can have a watch and enjoy some of this. If I was to do this again, what would I change? I would have a stronger baseboard. This is a little bit flexible, this baseboard. But the other negative part of that is I don't want to add any weight, and having things thicker doesn't always help. So I think structurally I could do things differently. Looking at what I've got here, you see those tight radiuses around there. They are very tight. If I was to make my next layout, I would just have a layout that just has straight track on it and I'll go left to right on it. Having that tight radius really limited what I could have running on it in regards to rolling stock as well as loco wise. Initially on the test I could get some 060s round, but once I ballasted and running an angle and they had to pull things, I had all sorts of trouble with any of my 060s, so I ended up giving up on that idea. So I think in the future I might end up doing a few small layouts, some actual genuine micro layouts, as this wasn't quite micro but it had some micro layout kind of radiuses on there. Most of the items that I purchased for the layout, as in the buildings and some of the rolling stock and locos, I picked up from Tony's Trains of Rugby. And I like to give Tony a shout out because he's been very good to me, give me advice and always very welcoming when I go to the shop. It's not too far from where I live, so I like to try and promote my local model shop the best that I can. It's about 40 minutes away, so maybe not local, but I do like Tony and he comes across really, really well. And this is Tony's Trains. You should go check out his shop sometime. I picked up a number of items from there, including these platform sides, and they allowed me to build up the platform in a different way to normal. Going back to the layout, I find the layout is a little bit big in regards to picking it up by myself and moving it around. I can, but I run the risk of damaging things when I do it. So what I would like to do is build a frame to go up on top of it in kind of around it, so then if I knock into a door as I'm walking through to carry it into the garage to keep it in storage, then I don't end up knocking bits off as I did when I actually went to the show. I ended up losing a corner to the engine shed that's there. I found one piece of it, but still that wasn't right. This bit here where we have the platform, I was actually really pleased with the AK Terrains paints, which is more like a paste that went on because I got really good surface on there. But watching this back with you all watching, it's kind of, I don't know, it's fun because you can recap things. Obviously, a number of weeks later, I did a lot of this over the course of 2 weeks. I'd actually been away for work during that as well, so the amount of time spent on this was kind of, I don't know, 7 days, which I spent a lot of late nights getting this done, so I wanted to get it done for the Jubilee weekend. Though the videos have been spread out over many weeks, I did get some comments about, you're still doing this, wasn't the Jubilee on the 4th or 5th or 6th or whatever? So I was like, well, yeah, but fine, this is where we are. I enjoy putting these. Actually, no, I didn't enjoy. Once I put them on, these point rodding parts looked really cool that were there, but ultimately they were very fiddly, and I'm not looking forward to doing them again. But it will have to happen. The normal bits of doing your ballast work happened, as you can see. The only thing that I always find stressful about ballasting is, will my points work properly afterwards? Will I actually have connectivity after then doing the airbrushing over the top? Because I try to stay in the track a bit more just to make it blend in. I did some airbrushing on the road to add some light patches just to show a run on area either side of a white bit, but it's a bit of fun. And then once you get to a certain stage, sometimes you're thinking, well, where do I put this, or what should I put here? And so I ended up just filling up some areas with some buff ballast, but it's so similar to the ballast that's on the track on colour. So I'm thinking, maybe I should use a different colour. I enjoy painting up this wheels kit here. It's building it up just to suit the area, adding the different stone colours. I kind of like this. Normally I go and use my grout powder, and which is beige for the cracks, but instead on this I just went for a wash, because I find the grout sometimes it's messy, it doesn't always work out as nice as you want it to, and I get a bit stressed by it, if I'm honest. Whereas I've just made it all dirty and even added some ash from the top of the engine at the top of that bridge. Then it's onto static grass. I used the Woodland Scenics, kind of their medium green, I'm not sure exactly what it was. They're short to begin with. And after that, I went with the Green Scenes grass. The Green Scenes grass, I find it's got a really nice shade. I really like the look of it. I first saw it on the Hornby magazine layout that I saw Richard and Mike using. So I thought I need to get hold of some of that. And my dad's been talking about Green Scenes a lot as well. I went to get some. It's a little bit more expensive than some of your other static grass. I say that slightly in an uneducated way because I don't know what weight you get, because some of it's in volume, some of it's in weight, but it looks a bit finer than some of the other static grasses, and I really like how realistic everything looks. I did add some other static grasses on the layouts to add some different variations of colour, some bits of dead grass and that in places. But adding all the trees, which I think they look alright. I had a comment mentioning didn't like my trees too much. Well, I didn't make them, which I should have a go at doing sometime. That'd be a project for the future, which I think would be good fun. But those trees, they were Bannock, and I pick them up whenever I go abroad because the price for them are pretty good, I find, and they look good. You can get some really tall trees, but ultimately, like I said, I do need to spend some time making them. I enjoyed adding the bits of shrubbery growing in here and there, the weeds and whatever. And then before going to the show, adding in all the little details, like here in the goods shed, having the cars, and then finally running it round. So that's a layout on a recap that hopefully you'll go and watch parts 1 to 5 if you're interested in seeing how it came together. Now we'll go over to the show and we'll see basically the guys working on it. They've put a tremendous amount of work in. It's been hard because on a Wednesday night they have 2 hours to get it out, which takes 20 minutes, and then start wiring and boarding it ready. But it's based off Irchester Station, which isn't there anymore in Irchester, but they had some nice pictures of it, and they had the club members build up the station and all the different bits and bobs, and it's been really enjoyable to see it being built up, and it's inspired me to do some of the bits that I've done. That's Tony there, great guy, and there's a whole bunch of guys at the club. Tony's been leading the project and making sure everything works nicely. And then we've got Mike there doing the wiring. He's the wiring guru at the club. He's very good at what he does. And then you got the rest of the guys. They're just all hands on deck, getting the layout so we could at least run a loop at the show, which is so important. Getting things in place, making sure lights are on inside buildings. In like the signal box, that was customized to look very similar, if not match completely, the one that was on the line. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll move over to myself, go into the show with Zach, my friend who came to help, and yeah, we'll have a chat from there. Just packed the car and we're going to go over to the club now. I've got Zach with me. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Adris.
And Zach's going to sit with me today and, well, play trains. Should be good fun, meet some people. I've got a double bed sheet to go over the table to kind of hide that. That's in black, so I'll see how that looks. Packed the car, that was quite tricky. Did it on my own, should have waited for Zach to come. Actually knocked one of the buildings off when doing it. It should be okay, but fine. It's all part of learning, isn't it? Anyway, we'll head over to the club and have some fun. We snapped a few pictures of obviously people looking around. It's something nice about stills that I really enjoy, looking through Instagram or magazines or whatever, but seeing the great guys that have come to see it, and gals, as well as the people that were running the event. It was really, really good, really, really enjoyable to have the crowd in that were there. You see Zach there working away, cleaning the wheels on my logo that kept getting very dirty very quickly. Oh, this is my 3D printed hut, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Almost. It's...
It's not going outside.
No, it's all got boxes. I used to go up to Charlotte, but he was saying this was just an all-side.
Definitely on. Is it? Yeah. Alright, let's keep it speed. There's a rubber somewhere. Have you got a rubber dubber? It's not working, work in progress.
That was a scratch build.
There's 5 frames, 3 rounds,
Started going on yesterday, so I put a bush there though, just for backup.
But with an ordinary, think like an ordinary point, so you've got problems.
She doesn't know that bit, does she?
That way your power's going to that track, and that way your power's going to that. So with that one, although you've got 3 there, depending on how they're switched, the power goes to either one of those 3.
Oh.
Hyper. Yeah. I wouldn't say he was nervous, but I know he sort of left the club with a nerve problem, I think. But, yeah.
I mean,
Hello.
I only realised when I saw that label.
fascinating. Just went like that. There's a drop there, isn't there? And it caught the end of the pole.
People don't appreciate it. What happens in the real world, we assembled it in the garage.
Yes.
So we've got all the original single wire, modern Jubilee pump, and all tied up in all the wire. Really nice. How's your layout running?
It's been alright. Quite hobbity, really. So,
Creative as well.
it's got a nice portion there.
It's just the one I shoved in at the time, really. There's just a bit of a display.
I might have one of them on my railway. Thank you for watching this mini-series. I think there'll probably be one more episode to this eventually. I don't know when exactly that will be. When I get some time, there'll be a part 7 where we do the last things that I hadn't done for the show that I really want to do, but at the moment don't have the motivation / time to do it. Life is very busy, lots of things going on. And yeah, so thank you for the support from my subscribers, my channel members, and my patrons. Without all the support, nice comments, likes, and encouragement, this would be actually quite hard to maintain and keep going as a channel. So thank you very much. You will take care, and I'll see you on the next episode of whatever we decide to do. Bye.